I'm Julie from the lifestyle website, julieblanner.com, where I share easy ideas for entertaining, home decor, and recipes like this holiday favorite here today. These easy sugar cookies are so amazing. They are unlike a lot of the sugar cookies that you've had before. Instead of being hard and tasteless, flavorless, with that icing that's so beautiful, they are really soft and they're made with the most amazing buttercream. But I have a trick so that they also look beautiful, but again are effortless, which is really just my motto here. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. You can use a stand mixer or a regular mixer in a mixing bowl, but we are going to cream our sugar and our butter together. So I'm taking softened butter because that will cream so much better. You can soften it by leaving it out at room temperature. That's the best way to do it. But in a pinch, you can also soften it in the microwave. Just make sure you don't melt it because it will change the consistency of your batter. Add the sugar, and here we're just using standard white granulated sugar. We'll get to the powdered sugar later. And now that our sugars are creamed, we can go ahead and add the egg. Now, anytime you add egg to a baking recipe, you want to make sure that you don't overbeat. So we're just going to do it until just incorporated. And now we can go ahead and add our vanilla. Now my vanilla is a little bit lighter in color because I love making homemade vanilla using vanilla beans. I'll link to that in the description below. We'll just give it 1 second. And now we're going to go ahead and add our flour, our baking powder, and our salt. Now, technically we should do this here in this dry bowl, but I often just toss it in there. But for the sake of following the rules, let's put them together here. Now, salt is in a lot of baking recipes because it brings out all the flavor of the other ingredients. And in a recipe as simple as these amazing sugar cookies, that little hint of salt goes a long way. If you're using salted butter, you may want to omit it. However, I am a queen and fan of all things salty, so I like to use both. I'm going to just sift this together with my whisk so it's well incorporated and they bake evenly. And now I'm going to gradually add this into our wet mixture. And we really gradually add it in there so we don't make a mess. Which is pretty much inevitable in my kitchen. Now, as you will see, this is a really thick dough, and that's what helps these sugar cookies hold their shape when you cut them out. Cut out sugar cookies, you don't want them to spread because then you know, you might have an elf and by the end of it, he looks like a gingerbread man. So this dough keeps its shape very well, but yet it tastes so good. They're so soft. And I can't wait until Chris gets home tonight because I tell you what, he will do just about anything for me. And I have a long to-do list when I make these sugar cookies. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna chill the dough for about an hour and then we can roll them out and cut them out. Now while the sugar cookie dough is chilling in the refrigerator for an hour, we're gonna whip up the buttercream. Again, we're gonna start with softened butter. You can leave it at room temperature, but if you're in a pinch, you can kind of soften it in the microwave and make sure that it's still somewhat solid. No melted butter, especially if you're not going to use my super fun method. All right, and we're gonna add in our powdered sugar. This is also known as confectioner's sugar. And again, we're gonna gradually add this in because We're gonna try to keep this as minimal of a mess as possible. Once that's incorporated, we'll go ahead and add a little bit more. And the remainder of the confectioner's sugar. And we're gonna go ahead and add in the vanilla. And again, this is my homemade vanilla. You can get the recipe in the description below, but any vanilla extract will do. And just a little bit of milk or heavy cream, whatever you happen to have on hand. Today I'm using milk. I most often use heavy cream. It's my favorite, but just about anything will work. Now you'll see that this has a really nice consistency, but we still need to work out a little bit of the powdered clumps, so we're gonna go ahead and continue beating. Unlike eggs, you can pretty much never overbeat your buttercream. Okay, now you'll see that this is just the most amazing consistency. It is so smooth and whipped and soft. Really easy to work with when you're spreading it onto your cold sugar cookies. So now that it's light and fluffy and ready to go, if you want to add some food coloring to it, this is the time. Remember, always start small, like 1 drop, and work your way up, because you can always go deeper in color, but you can never go back. Okay, now that we have refrigerated our dough for at least an hour, we're gonna go ahead and preheat our oven and roll our dough out. Now you can see here, I have a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper and my rolling pin ready to go. I just add a little bit of flour to the rolling pin, and that way it doesn't stick to my dough. And we're gonna roll it out directly on the cookie sheet, because this is how I keep cleanup so easy. And I kind of press together a little dough ball, and I'm gonna push it down. And then we're gonna roll it out until it's about a 1/4 inch thick. The thickness of your dough is going to determine your bake time, so watch it carefully. You never wanna burn your cookies. This dough is too amazing to do that to. You can use some tape to attach your parchment to your cookie sheet. I don't. Just seems like extra time. Okay, now one of the things when you're rolling it on a cookie sheet, it almost gives you that desired thickness, because you'll see how this rolls directly over. So now we're gonna go ahead and use our cookie cutters and make our shapes. So this is the trick that makes these so incredibly easy, and what made this post so viral years ago. We're gonna go ahead and press our shapes in, pull them out, and pop them. Or if they don't pull out, it depends on how firm your dough is, you just peel the dough away. Now I'll just pop this excess dough into my mixing bowl, and we can use it again for another round. They turn out so perfect. Like I said before, this dough doesn't spread, so it's so beautiful, and it just tastes amazing too, which to me is even more important than looking beautiful. Now I'm going to bake these at 400 for about 6 to 7 minutes. Again, keep in mind that how thick you roll them will definitely change your bake time, as well as altitude, so carefully watch them. While these are in the oven, I'm going to give you a couple tips to make these sugar cookies so amazing and so easy. One is that not only are you going to refrigerate the dough, but if you refrigerate the dough while you're rolling out another batch, any excess dough, just pop it back in the refrigerator, because chilled dough is so much easier to work with when you roll it out. Not only that, the chilled dough will help it hold its shape while it's baking in the oven. You can make these for Valentine's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, really any holiday, any occasion, or just to make your kids smile. All right, the sun is going down, which means the girls are gonna be home from school any minute now, so I really need to get moving on these cookies. I'm going to microwave the buttercream icing just to warm it a little bit for my next trick. Now I'm going to stir my buttercream to ensure it's really smooth. You can warm it 20 seconds at a time, as many times as you need. And now I'm going to take my cookies. You can see just how lightly brown they are on the bottom and there's solid on the top, and I'm just going to dip them to cover. And this kind of job is a little bit messy, but it is so good, and it's such a beautiful way to decorate cookies without actually having to decorate them. And then of course you're going to probably want to add some sprinkles on top. I love using a little bit of this dusting sugar. You're going to want to do it while they're still wet before they have a chance to set. Add a little sparkle. You can never get enough sparkle any time of the year, but Christmas, absolutely. Again, dip, pull it out, allow it to drip down a little bit. And sparkle. Now, one way to really mix it up is you can do about half with the crunch and half without the crunch. Although the crunch is like, I mean, it just takes them over the top when you add sprinkles to these cookies. They're so crazy good. You can see the description below for the easy recipe and all of my tips. And of course, I hope you subscribe and to see you again soon. Thanks for following along.